Every year in August comes the first night when the temperatures go lower and the humidity goes up. There's a little bit of rain and get this beautiful fog in the forest in the morning. And that is basically the first night and the first day that marks in some way the end or the starting of the end of summer and beginning of autumn. Things are moving slowly, of course, it's still summer, but this is the first moment when you realize that autumn is just 3 weeks away. So things are going to start to change. The temperature is going to go lower, the nights are going to go colder, and the beautiful weather to photograph landscape photography, it's going to be more and more present. For the moment, the fog is pretty thick. Of course, it's really early in the morning. The sun just is barely above the horizon line. It's a little bit trickier because I heard wild boars in the forest, and when you hear that, you don't want to go into the bushes to take some photos. So I'm keep throwing sticks and making noise just to make sure that they're nowhere near me. They're not that dangerous, but of course, if you have the surprise to meet one of them face to face, probably it will attack, and it's not going to be pleasant. They can kill you basically, but they're not animals that attack intentionally. So I just have to pay close attention and nothing bad will happen.
Rainy day, on a rainy day, on a rainy day, on a rainy day.
The first photo that I'm deciding to do is a panorama, because what better way to start this photo shoot but with a panorama. I really like how can I control the brightness of the image when I'm doing the photo rather than the film. You see the light coming from the right and it looks really good. Then it's time for one single shot. It's not a rule to always photograph panoramas, and in this case I decided that having those trees to the left and to the right of the image will frame the image in a very good way, and a panorama won't be necessary. Now, there are so many ways in which you can photograph, and I think it's important to diversify the way you approach a certain location. Now, this is the first big panorama that I'm doing over here, and again, I'm controlling the light by overexposing a little bit, because you can see the forest is really dark, but I can create this really beautiful contrasty situation. These are about 7 or 8 photos in this panorama, and I think it looks really good with that light from the left. Even though the weather looks like this, even though there is no sun and it's gloomy and foggy, having a circular polarizer, it's an absolute must. The leaves are still shining, there is still a sun up there somewhere, and there is still a direction of light, even though it's not visible to you. So having a circular polarizer as a landscape photographer is an absolute must. You can't duplicate its effect in post-processing, no matter how hard you're trying. So remember this, always have your circular polarizer on your lens. Here I'm preparing the camera to take this photo, and I decided to show it to you like this because I want to discuss the structure of this photo. As you can see, we have a trail that's very noticeable, and then I stopped in a way that I'm having two big trees to my left and to my right. And of course, the reason is to frame the shot a little bit, to have some elements that will stop you from escaping the trail, that elements that basically will help you go over there into the distance.
On a rainy day,
Another thing that I'm doing is to make the lines look like diagonals. So I'm not aiming for compositions that are growing vertically, but more that are growing to the left towards the right. I hope this makes sense, but this is in a way this idea that I'm using the entire space of the photo. I know it's summer, I know it's August, it's just mid-August, I know it's warm during the day, but this morning reminds me so much of autumn. I have gloomy weather, cold weather, you see how I'm dressed, drops of rain come down from the trees. So it's starting to get there. And it's strange because I'm kind of the opposite of what majority of people want. They want beautiful weather, warm weather, and I want gloomy, cold, rainy, foggy days. But it's just for the sake of photography. It's not that I'm a person that wants the weather to be bad, but it looks good in the photo. So you see how I'm constantly moving. It's not a rule that okay, I'll stop and I shoot from there. I'm moving and I'm checking the composition, and sometimes the image looks okay with kind of like a diagonal feeling to the leading line, but there are also occasions when the rules can be broken and you can have the trail right in the middle going up, but you have a really powerful light coming from the right, and that creates a beautiful balance. You saw me do this very often. I'm constantly looking for the light, and right now the light is over there behind me, so I'm kind of moving towards its edge. I try to capture it from within the darkness. I think in order to notice light, you have to be in darkness. Otherwise, it's just light everywhere. So you need to position yourself in a place from where the thing you're trying to photograph looks good. That's the simplest way in which I can put it. This over here looks very interesting. I don't know if I'll manage to make an interesting photo, but it looks cool. It's a trunk, and it's just a straight trunk, and that's it. No branches, no leaves, just some mushroom on it, and it just leads to the sky. Now I will try to do this in one shot and show it to you, and then I will also try to do it in a panorama. It's the position is kind of extreme. I don't know if I'll manage to stitch the panorama in a way that looks okay. I can stitch it, but it may distort the perspective and you're not realizing the thing that I want to show you. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this weather that I'm having right now and the photos, and until next time, keep on photographing is the only way to get better. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed.